I decided to find my way back to the kitchen to see how tonight's meal was coming along.
Let me introduce you to Jack. This is Alan.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good to see you again.
You too. So we've gone shopping. We've got sausage. We've got some cheese. What are we doing now?
Well, we're going to make one of our courses is stuffed quail, and that's what we got the merguez sausage for from Sonny D'Angelo. So Jack has prepared some wild rice and barley, and he's cooked the merguez probably about 80% through.
Okay.
And we're going to stuff the quail with it, pan sear it to get a nice little crisp skin, and we're going to finish it off in the oven. While he's doing that, he's going to make a sauce out of shallots and butter. We're going to deglaze it with this sweeter raspberry beer than what we're using serving it with. And then we're going to mound it with a demi-glace, which is a really rich veal sauce.
Outstanding. What are some of the challenges, if any, is cooking with beer as opposed to, cooking with wine? We all know you can dump wine in a red sauce or whatever, but, beer's carbonated. Beer's got different characteristics. How does that play out when you're cooking?
Well, you have to be careful which beers you select. If you get a beer that's very hoppy and you reduce it, it becomes very, very bitter. And if you have a beer that's very sweet, it becomes very sweet. So you have to get the balance.
Right, that
of
intensifies the flavor whenever you bring it.
Every time you reduce it, you concentrate the flavor, basically.
Again, we're talking about cooking with beer. We're tasting with certain beer. We're cooking with other beers. I know you, you do many dishes that involve beer. How difficult is that as compared to cooking with wine?
I think it's actually, I have a wider range of flavors with beer. Wine, you're sort of limited. If you white wine or red wine, a lot of red wines have the same components. I can use the best beer in the world, and it maybe costs me $15 for the bottle.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I can use the most intensely flavored beer.
There are many subtleties to beers as well, but red wine
tastes like grapes.
Tastes like grapes, and when you're cooking, and especially when you cook with it.
Again, when you cook with wine, you're using probably closer to a table wine, so you're not using a top quality. So there's not much to work with. When I'm using these beers, I really have the most intense flavors. Generally, seafood goes with hoppier, drier beers. Meats go with darker, sometimes a little more residual sugar beers. So that's a basic rule of thumb. The palate is so wide. I can get sour, I can get citrus, I can get grapefruit. You name the flavor, I can get it out of a beer. Yeah, it smells great, doesn't it?
I just want to drink that as it is right now. You just
we
put
can
that
do shots of it. Now the stuffing's a little bit further in there.
Pardon me, ma'am.
So it'll be a nice contrast to the mildness of the quail. Have that little bite of the merguez.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a master. Take 5, guys. I'll be back in a few minutes.